What makes a French fry worth going across town for?
There are a lot of pretty great fries that are kind of your standard mid-length, mid-width, hot, salty, a little bit greasy, delightful in perfectly average places, even very good places. I needed something exceptional. I need something worth writing about, something worth telling someone to come across town for.
Naomi Tomky has gone the distance. She's eaten all over Seattle to find the best fries. They could be crispy on the outside, but fluffy on the inside. Maybe they're double fried, made with beef fat or duck fat. But where do you find the really special fries in this city? Hey, I'm Brandi Fullwood, and this is Seattle Eats. It's a podcast about Seattle's food scene and the best things to eat in it. Seattle Met's Naomi Tomky went the extra mile to find the best fries in the Seattle area, and she's brought her fry research to share with all of us. Let's get into it. Hey Seattle, have you eaten yet? How about some hot, crispy, perfectly seasoned fries? Okay, but which fries in Seattle are so good, so incredible, they just hit the top of your list?
So the ideal fry has to be somewhat crispy. It has to have a little bit of a snap on the outside. You want to have some palpable salt there. And then when you bite in or if you break it, there should be some steam coming out of it. I do think that they all have to be hot. And then inside you have some fluffy potato-ness to it. Even on a super thin fry, you just need at least a little bit of fluffy potato inside.
Hard agree. Naomi Tomky is a food writer at the Seattle Met, and she has been reviewing the best fries in the city. So tell me about the fry that changed everything. The fry in your life that set the bar for the best fries for you.
So I open my fry piece with my personal ideal French fry, which is the Washington Middle School French fry when I was in school there in the late 90s. I can't explain it. We had the regular school lunch line, and then there was a separate little window where you could buy French fries and little round pizzas every day. And those French fries were perfect. They were long and pretty thin and salty and greasy and hot and crispy. Just those stand out as my ideal French fry. I assume they were just like some really good Cisco or corporate conglomerates frozen fries, but they had someone who knew how to work that fryer.
For sure, some kind of Cisco in the sky. I love that you take fries seriously, actually. You've compiled all of this into a list in the latest edition of the Seattle Met. What made you make this list in the first place?
So I take everything seriously. I've done similar quests for ice cream. I'm currently looking at frozen slushies and shave ice. So I take my research very seriously, which sometimes makes people laugh because I'm like, oh no, I can't do that right now. I have to go out and research French fries.
How often were you eating fries? Or are you just eating fries every day, all day? Tough break, by the way.
In my head, I am always going to plan these things out so I can eat a few fries or a few whatever at a time. Realistically, I get 3 weeks before a piece is due, and I'm scheduling days where I'm like, okay, I got to go eat 3 French fries for lunch and another for dinner. Mm-hmm. And I try to recruit people to come with me, but it's very weird because I'm like, okay, we're going to go to 3 different places. We're going to order just French fries and maybe one other thing. And we're going to eat 2 fries and take the rest to go and go to the next place because there's just a limit to how many French fries you can eat. So you have to just eat them right then while they're hot and then move on and check out the next thing.
I actually want to ask about solo fries. Do you think a good fry should be able to stand on its own? If you're just eating the fries, it sounds like you're not getting steak frites or a burger or chicken tenders, but just fry.
So part of researching these sorts of things is everything is in its own context. And so absolutely, if the French fry at a place is part of a steak frites, then you have to go and order the steak frites. And a good example of this is Bait Shop, which is on the list and makes an excellent fry. I do not think that you get the Bait Shop experience if you just go in there and order a French fry. So obviously, in the course of duty, I had to order a frozen passion fruit margarita as well.
Thank you so much for your service. Is this list ranked? Are these like the top 10 best fries in Seattle?
It is not ranked. And I generally don't think that a best of list needs a ranking because there are so many things that go into deciding where you're going to eat. Like I said, some people like a curly fry, some people like a straight fry, but also where it is in town, what time something's open. So I want to give people, if they're like, oh man, really want to get like a great French fry right now, I want to give them enough options that there's something that they can find that is within a reasonable commute of them, that is the style that they like, that is open when they want to go do that.
Yeah, this is not clickbait. This is just good fries. Pick the ones that are best for you. What was the standout fry? If you have to tell people this is the fry you must try, what was that one for you?
The one that absolutely blew me away is Euro's Heroes in West Seattle.
Okay.
You wouldn't ever think anything of it if you're going by. It shares a parking lot with a Starbucks. It's a fast casual counter shop where they sell gyros and some other things. And then they sell just these incredible Greek fries. I do not know what they're doing with this garlic. They did not respond to my inquiries about what the heck they're doing with this garlic. But there's like a garlic sauce on it, and the fries are so crunchy and somehow stay so crunchy even under the weight of all of this garlic sauce and feta and spices and all sorts of wonderful stuff.
Yeah, that can be a really big issue for fries with stuff on them. They just get soggy after a while. What do you think made them work?
So they are a battered fry, which does give them a little bit of extra protection and tends to make a slightly heavier fry. But again, they're doing some magic over there at Euro's. And it is not an overly heavy fry. They are well fried. They don't get super greasy. And I think that probably also helps them not get super soggy. But they stood up. I ate a few, as I said. I always eat a few on the spot to get them hot. And then I had them in my car, and my whole car smelled incredible the rest of the day. And then I took them home, and my kids were eating them after school, and they were still crisp.
Oh, that's incredible. That's what you want.
It was amazing.
I have to say, thinking about fries like this being this crispy gives me a little bit of pause because it makes me think of the animal style fries at In-N-Out, which do have a lot of toppings on them, and they're not always soggy with the topping on it, but that's because they have like playing cards texture.
They are ideal. But if you like an animal style fry, I got a different one on this list for you.
Okay. What's that one?
So Saint Bread down in the U
Bread.
District. Amazing. Love them. Saint Bread has dobutsu fries, which dobutsu is the Japanese word for animal. So these are their version of animal style fries. They have the caramelized onions. They have the melty cheese sauce on top. They're a thinner fry. They've got a little bit of nori seasoning. And then they have really good fries underneath, which I think makes them automatically a little bit better than the In-N-Out ones.
Yeah. This is great because I haven't had their animal style fries or these dobutsu fries, but I've had their fries, and it's almost like, what if Burger King fries were actually good?
Yeah, they're like a nice, delicate, thin fry with a little bit of seasoning. They are a great fry.
Yeah. What about a fry on the list that surprised you?
So Honey Hole, which is a sandwich shop on Capitol Hill, I actually had to get in touch with Honey Hole and be like, what is this French fry? I was convinced that there was Parmesan cheese or something similar, like umami nuttiness. And so I talked to their general manager and was like, okay, what are you doing? What's in these French fries? And she actually was very open and gave me their ingredient list. And there was nothing super unusual, sort of the usual spices and fried in a pretty standard oil. But she said, we're really vigilant about cleaning our fryer and keeping our fryer oil the right temperature. And I will tell you, having eaten a lot of fries fried in bad fryer oil in the course of writing this piece, that goes a long way. It's a lot of work to keep a fryer clean and fresh and the fryer oil tasting good and at the right temperature. And it almost, if you have Cisco fries, whatever corporate frozen French fry, if you can fry them really well, that is a lot of the battle.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear about any funky technique where they're double fried or made in duck fat or beef fat and, adding a little bit of rosemary? What actually seems to work for a really good French fry?
There was definitely a few rosemary and truffle and that sort of thing. I think that mostly those are fanciness for fanciness sake. I'm not sure that and I love truffle. I am not one of those truffle haters, but I think mostly it doesn't necessarily do anything to really help the French fry. None of the ones that had those made it on, but it wasn't necessarily because they were a truffle or whatever fry. I think that duck fat fries was a huge thing maybe 10, 15 years ago. I don't think I really saw any this time, though. I'm surprised I haven't seen more people like bragging about beef tallow fries because that's
a thing.
But double frying is almost essential. The ideal French fry, pretty widely agreed, is a French fry that you fry twice and ideally like freeze in between, because that is how you get that fluffy inside, crisp on the outside. Because one dip in the fryer gets you a fairly soggy fry just because of you can't cook them through at the same temperature to get the crispy, and it doesn't, the physics of it don't work. And so I would say that a double fry, either in-house, they make them, they fry them, they cool them, they fry them, or a double fry because they buy pre-fried frozen fries that they then fry the second time, is fairly standard.
Okay.
And for good reason.
Yeah, that sounds like it works. It also reminds me of the lore of how the McDonald's fry works.
Have you had a McDonald's fry recently?
No, it's been a minute.
I do not think they are that good now.
Oh.
I have been to McDonald's a few times in the last 5-6 years. American McDonald's, I will say. I have had a good French fry at a Canadian McDonald's. But I have been repeatedly disappointed in the quality of the fries at American McDonald's.
So I've had the McDonald's fry before, but I have never had the OG French fry from them, the pre-1990 fry. Have you?
I mean, maybe when I was really little, but the McDonald's change from the beef tallow, which is what everyone talks about, was when I was very, very young.
Yeah. I'll back up. So in 1990, McDonald's changed their recipe after lots of fervor and anger, right, from people concerned about heart disease. These health advocates zoomed in on the half vegetable oil, half beef tallow that McDonald's had been frying their fries in. They gave them this buttery, rich signature taste, but they don't do that anymore. Now what they do is they fry them in a vegetable oil with natural beef flavor added into them, I guess to give you a reminder of what it used to taste like. But you don't remember having one even when you were really, really young?
So I probably had one of the beef tallow fries because I was 7 years old in 1990. We'll just put that out there. I don't really remember it, but even as a child and in my teen, McDonald's were very good French fries. I will say there's a fry on the list that I think tastes just like the McDonald's French fries of my childhood. So not necessarily the beef tallow era.
Okay, tell me about the McDonald's dupe.
Vindictive Wings, which is a bar in Belltown. It's a wing restaurant mostly, but like clearly they know what they're doing with a fryer. This
is like a fry that could get easily overlooked there because wings are the sell.
That is correct.
Okay, hidden gem. Why do you recommend going to Vindictive Wings for French fries?
I mean, other than the fact that a $12 meal with 6 wings, fries, and a soda was a fantastic deal. There's a slightly higher price that you can get it with a beer, but
sure.
They have this light blonde, long, skinny, elegant fry. And with those crisp little skinny fries, it's hard to get the inside to be fluffy and have enough potato flavor. And they make it work. And they're quite good. My only knock on them was that they clearly had waited until the wings were done. So I think that if I went back solely for French fries, I would order a side of French fries in an attempt to get them fried and out right away and not waiting a minute for my wings.
That's a good hack. I feel like the only hack that I've ever been given for French fries is to ask for salt on the side. so that the fries have to be made fresh?
That's a good one. I mean, I guess if you salt them right when they get to the table, because one of the things about fried foods is that they have to be salted the second they come out.
Otherwise, it'll probably all fall off. Yeah, if it's not hot enough.
Yeah. And I will say that commercial fryers have these baskets, right? You pull them out and you drain that oil off the basket, and then they salt, and they can toss them in the basket, and it just gets that perfect amount of salt. I would be worried I couldn't do that.
No, that makes sense. I know we're going down the rabbit hole of fries, but do you have any other fries that maybe we're overlooking in this city that you would like to recommend?
Oh, man. I feel like everyone has their fry that they loved. And I grew up in Seattle, and we had Red Robin. And the bottomless fries at Red Robin.
I did not do that on purpose.
The bottomless fries at Red Robin, and I have not been to a Red Robin, I would say probably in 8 or 9 years. So I don't know what they're like at the current moment. But the fries that I remember, you know, they're these thick, flat fries with the like Red Robin seasoning on them. And they're great. The ones at Dreamland in Fremont are not quite like that flat. They're a little bit square, but they're a fry with some heft.
Like a steak fry?
Not quite a steak fry.
Okay.
They're still, I would say, a standard fry, but like a girthy standard. You know, they're not like a petite fry that's going to fall over in the wind.
Yeah.
These fries have some potato meat on them, which I like because that gives them these like very fluffy insides, and then they have a seasoning on them. It's kind of your standard mix of spices, some garlic powder, some salt, whatever. They're just a fantastic fry. For people who really like that sort of potato-y, thicker style, this is going to be a fry that they're really going to enjoy. It comes with 2 sauces, and they have a bunch of different sauces. One of the options is fry sauce, which is theoretically just ketchup and mayonnaise. But there is something about this perfect little pinky orange sauce coming that I really like. And it just goes perfectly with French fries. And, you know, it's dreamland. This was pretty much my dream fry land.
Yeah, it's got some good tang and fat in the sauce.
Absolutely.
I love that because Dreamland's fries are definitely something that I've overlooked, but I've had brunch there. It was a drag brunch, but Dreamland, there's a magic in the brunch.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely see places that slack off on brunch, especially when they have something else as the draw. But this was not the French fry of a place that slacks off.
Yeah, this is like where you have a full tunnel vision aha moment. So you've had a bunch of fries in Seattle. Have you learned anything about our overall fry scene?
I think I was pleasantly surprised by how good the fries were. It became sort of hard because at some point I have to stop tasting French fries. At some point I have to be like, this is how long this list can be.
Who's stopping you?
The fact that I have to write it and get it into the magazine at some point. I felt like I could have probably kept testing. And I came in probably having tested in my last couple of years 30 or so French fries around town because I like a French fry and I order them decently often. And then I probably tasted another 25 or so specifically for this piece. And I did not feel like I was scraping the bottom of the barrel. And so there's a lot of like close seconds that maybe didn't quite make the list.
For sure. I'm not going to beg for your validation, but I am curious what you think about one of my favorite fries, which is Oxburger on Capitol Hill. It is an offshoot of the restaurant Taurus Ox, and the fries are incredible. I'm curious what you think, though.
Oh, I did enjoy the Oxburger French fry. Let me say, I've had them at Taurus Ox. I'm not sure I've actually had Oxburger itself. I've had the Taurus Ox.
I don't know if there's a lot of variation in the recipe. The only thing that I've ever caught is if there's pop punk playing at Oxburger, the fries are just better by 50%.
The music makes a difference. I really like Taurus Ox, and I do think that I often get there and the fries are very good. But then I'm distracted by the excellent Lao food. And I think that I would feel conflicted directing people to go there for the French fry, not because it's not a great French fry, but because
you want people to have more.
I want them to go there and eat all the things.
I mean, I would encourage it, especially for Taurus Ox, but rest easy at Augsburger. You can get the fries, and they are an incredible vehicle for all of their dips. Like the Jiaobang mayo is delicious.
Absolutely. Their dips are phenomenal. My little brother told me that he went in there the other day and just started trying to buy them. I think he convinced them to do so.
Just give them a jar.
To get a jar. But no, they're fantastic.
Oh, that's perfect. Okay, I feel good about that. But I do think you're right. Why do you think there's such a strong feeling about fries compared to maybe other sides like coleslaw?
Well, because fries are fantastic.
All right.
No, I mean, I think that they are something that everyone grew up eating. I mean, this is one of those things where when people ate something growing up in like a specific place, there's a lot of emotion and nostalgia around certain foods.
Mm-hmm.
And I think French fries are definitely one of those. And so, there are people who will not hear a word against the In-N-Out fries. But as someone who didn't grow up on the In-N-Out fries, I will say many words against them.
That's probably why I feel comfortable doing it. I did not grow up on In-N-Out fries, but the French fries are the key to the memory palace. Well, thank you so much for all of your fry recommendations. I appreciate finding fries out of my 3-foot zone. And thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It was very fun. And I would come back and talk about French fries or other foods anytime.
I would love that. Naomi Tomky is a food writer for the Seattle Net. You can find all of her fry recommendations in the description of this episode. That is it for today. Seattle Eats is hosted by me, Brandi Fullwood, and you can get in touch with me at seattleeats@kuow.org. But I also want to know more about the Seattle food scene through you. What's your go-to spot in Seattle for lunch or for a first date or, a special occasion like a birthday or anniversary? We have a voicemail box set up for you to call us at 206-543-8510. The show is produced by me and edited by Jim Gates. Seattle Eats is a proud member of the NPR network. You can find more and support the show at kuow.org/eats. And all of that's in the description of the episode. If you like our show, give us a rating. It really helps. Alrighty, talk soon.